Okay, in this video we're going to talk about levels. So starting off over here in our project browser, we can see under floor plans we have two levels that are already set up for us. We have level 1 and level 2. Now if we go to our elevations, so I'm going to double click on north, we can see here our two elevations. These lines are just representing, basically just showing you across if you started creating a house, so that way it's long enough to represent that level. So level 1 is at 0, 0, and level 2 is at 10 feet. What I want to do is we're going to go to level 1 for right now, and we're going to create a wall. So our base constraint is level 1, our top constraint is going to be level 2. So I'm just going to go ahead and create a box here, and then I'm going to go back to my north elevation. So if we look here on our elevation, we have our wall going from level 1 to level 2. Let's say I don't want this to be called level 1 anymore. If I select the level, and then as I bring my cursor over these different elements, you can see that there's a blue box that appears around them. Making sure whichever one has the blue box is the one you're going to select. So if I want to change the name, I'll left click on level 1 and change this to, let's say, ground. That is the ground. When I left click into the white space, it's going to ask me, would you like to rename the corresponding views? I'm going to select yes, and that just changes it over here in the project browser. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to select level 2. I want to call this first floor. Click yes, I'd like to rename it. And if I change, one of the nice things about this is if you change the distance here on the level, so let's say instead of 10 feet, I want 12 feet, it is going to automatically change the walls that you have corresponding to that level. So the next thing we're going to do is add in a level. So currently, being in elevation, if we look up here at our level in our architecture tab, it's available, it's black, we can use it. If for some reason, let's say you're in floor plan, if you ever run into an instance where it's gray, it just means you're not in elevation. You might be in floor plan. So you have to be in elevation for it to work. So I'm going to go ahead and left click on here. And up here we just have our modified tools. You may or may not need to use them. They're just the common. But on our cursor we can see that we have this blue dimension telling us the distance offsetting from the particular level. So in this case we are offsetting, I'm going to line it up with this dotted blue line, 10 feet off of level 1, so first floor. I'm going to left click, drag across until I line up with the other ones, left click. There it is. If you press escape, it will exit out of that particular level, and now I can draw another one. So I'm going to come back over here to the left, set it at 10 feet, left click, drag across, line it up, left click, and there it's good. I'm going to hit escape to exit out of that level, and then escape one more time to completely exit out of the level feature. Now, right now, if we look over here on our project browser, we can see we have level 3 and level 4 as options to draw on. If you were to, let's say, copy and paste a level, so if I left click on level 4, I'm going to do Control C, then Control V. What it's doing is it's going to paste that level. And just like before, the blue dimension line here is telling me the distance, so I'm going to go up to, I'm going to do 15 this time. 15 feet, left click, and it places the new level. I'm going to left click into the white area, and you can see here level 5 is now black. And over here in our project browser, floor plans, level 5 is not an option. It's not there. So if you want that to be a floor plan so you can draw on that level, otherwise right now it's simply just a reference point. So for example, let's go to our ground floor and we're going to create a wall. To ground, level 5 is just a reference point. I cannot draw on it because it's not a floor plan, but I can use it as a reference for other walls. So if I go back to my elevation and I select, I don't even have to select level 5. Up in our view tab, we have this button called Plan Views. If we left click on that and then go to Floor Plan, it's going to show you any level that you have that's not currently a floor plan. So if you want level 5 to be a floor plan, you want to make sure it's selected and then click OK. and then it's going to automatically take you to level 5 on the floor plan. But so this is all that's doing is allowing you to be able to draw on that level. So let's go back to our elevations. So elevations here you can use as ground level. Let's say you're trying to do concrete for a sidewalk or something like that. You can create a level for that. If you have specific distances that walls are going to, stairs, ramps, this is where you would create all those levels. And it's very important to make sure that you label them properly, so that way you don't get confused when you're creating walls and whatnot, to ensure that they're going to where you want them to be. Otherwise, you can kind of end up with a little bit of a mess.